Hi, this is Dr. Thomas, math instructor at Lawson State Community College, and in this video presentation I'm going to show you how to simplify rational expressions. Just a quick overview, rational is just a word that means fractions, and if you can factor well, you can simplify rational expressions. This is probably the most important note that you need to understand. You can only cancel factors, not terms. Again, you can only cancel factors, not the individual terms. Step 1, we need to factor the numerator and the denominator completely, looking for common factor. We're going to divide the numerator and denominator by the common factor. We call it canceling the common factors, but really we're dividing the common factors out of the numerator and denominator. And in step 3, we just go back and check to see if we missed anything, and then you write your simplified answer. So we have 18x cubed divided by 12x. And we want to simplify this rational expression. Well, this is easy. We just figure out what 18 and 12 have in common. And I'm going to do it this route so you can see what's going on here. What number does 18 and 12 have that's in common? Well, definitely 2 is in common. But is there a higher number that's in common? Perhaps it's 3. Or perhaps it is 6. So let me write it out completely. Let me show you why we can cancel the way we can. So 6 times 3 is 18. And I know that 6 times 2 is 12. Alright, I also know that x cubed is the same thing as x times x times x. And we have our x on the bottom. The reason we can simplify this is because we can cancel these common factors. We can cancel 6 and 6, and we can cancel 1x on the top with 1x on the bottom. Therefore, our final answer is, we have a 3, we still have an x times x, which is x squared, divided by 2. That's why our answer is 3x squared over 2, because we were able to cancel common factors out. Let's try 75 a cubed b squared divided by negative 5ab to the 6. If we look at the numbers first, it's obvious that 5 can divide into 75 since it ends in the number 5. We just have to figure out how many times does 5 go into 75. So you can do a little side calculation. 5 goes into 75. It's 1 time, subtract 25, 5. Alright, so 15 times. So let's divide out the common factor. The common factor is 5 here, so 5 goes in 75 15 times. And 5 divided into itself 1 time. Let's look at the a's now. We have a to the third at the top and a to the first at the bottom. So basically there's an a times a in the numerator, and there's an a in the denominator. We can only take away one a from the top and the bottom. So if we take it from the bottom, the a is completely gone. But if we take one of those a's away from the numerator, there's still a squared left. Still 2 a's left, since if you subtract 1 from the 3, you still have 2 a's. Alright, let's look at the b's here. We have b to the second in the numerator and b to the sixth in the denominator. Now, how many b's can we take evenly away from the numerator and the denominator? We can only take 2 away, b squared. So that completely takes the b's out of the numerator, but if we take 2 b's away from the denominator, that will leave us with b to the 4th. What I want you to recall is that it is standard not to keep negatives in the denominator. So we're going to have to move that negative up, either on the very side of the division bar or in the numerator. So our answer is negative 15 a squared divided by b to the 4th, or you can put that negative right there where that division line is, negative 15a squared written this way over b to the 4th. So we're going to look back at it, make sure that your answer is in simplified form. Let's say we had x squared minus 5x plus 6 divided by x squared minus 9. What I want you to recall here is that you can only cancel factors. Not terms. Okay? So no, you cannot cancel these x squareds out because you are canceling terms, not factors. So in order to cancel factors, you would have to put these expressions in factored form first. So you can only cancel factors, not terms. So what are the factors to x squared minus 5x plus 6? So we are looking for factors of 6, that if we added the factors, it will give us negative 5. What are the factors? Since this is the case where a equals 1, we go ahead and put our parentheses, put our x here. Factors of 6 that gives us negative 5. What are they? The answer is negative 2 and negative 3. Because negative 2 times negative 3 is positive 6. But if you add negative 2 and negative 3, you get negative 5, the middle term. Okay, what type of factoring problem do we have here? X squared minus 9. We have a difference of squares. So the factors for x squared minus 9 are x plus 3 and x minus 3. So what cancels here? Only identical factors cancel when you're dealing with minuses and pluses, okay? If you have plus and minus signs, only identical factors cancel. So for example, what I mean about identical, this x minus 3 looks identical to x minus 3. And you can only cancel if one factor is in the numerator and one factor is in the denominator. Only if it's top and bottom can you cancel. Okay? Cannot cancel if they were on the same level. If both were in the numerator or if both were in the denominator. You could not have canceled then. But since one is in the numerator, one in the denominator, they cancel. So the answer is x minus 2 over x plus 3. No, you cannot cancel these x's here because you cannot cancel terms. You can only cancel entire factors. Okay? So this is your answer. Let's try 7x minus 7 over x squared minus 1. So again, when you're dealing with a plus and minus signs, you must factor first. You cannot cancel terms. So let's factor here. We have 7x minus 7. How can you factor that? Well, 7 is in common in both terms, so that's definitely the GCF. We take it out, and we need to put a factor here that if we multiply times 7, we will get back 7x minus 7. What is that factor? It is x minus 1. The denominator here, this is a difference of squares. So that's x plus 1 times x minus 1. Alright. Do we have identical factors here? Yes, on top and bottom. So the x minus 1 in the numerator will cancel out with the x minus 1 in the denominator. Therefore, our answer is 7 divided by x plus 1. Okay, one more. We have 5x cubed plus 10x squared divided by x cubed minus 6x squared minus 16x. Okay, so again, we cannot cancel terms, we can only cancel factors. So we have to factor first before we cancel anything out. So how do we factor the numerator here? We have 5x cubed plus 10x squared. Always GCF. The GCF is 5x squared. Both of these terms have at least 2 x's in it, so we can take x squared out. 5x squared times what will give us back 5x cubed? 5x squared times x. 5x squared times what will give us 10x squared? 5x squared times a positive 2, and that's it. Alright, let's go to the denominator. How do we factor x cubed minus 6x squared minus 16x? Well, we first must look for the GCF. There appears to be an x in each term, so we need to take the x out first and put a parenthesis. X times what is x cubed? It is x squared. X times what is negative 6x squared? Again, negative or minus 6x. And x times what is minus 16x? Is minus 16. Now what appears here is a trinomial. Okay? We have to make sure that we have factored completely. So can we factor x squared minus 6x minus 16? I think so. Can we find factors of negative 16 that if we add them, it'll add up to negative 6? So you can do a little side calculation. You have negative 16, factors of negative 16. Let's think about factors of 16 first. 1 is 16. What about 2 and 8? Okay. 2 and 8. Bingo. If we would just make the 8 a negative, then when we add 2 plus a negative 8, that will give us the negative 6 we're looking for. Alright, so let me rewrite all of the factors. 5x squared times x plus 2 divided by x times x plus 2 now that we got that 2, and x minus 8 that we have that negative 8. Now what cancels here? Definitely this x plus 2 and this x plus 2, because one is in the numerator, one in the denominator. Identical factors. But here we have an x and an x squared. So basically we have an x times x in the numerator divided by an x. So yes, they can cancel out too. Okay, so 1x can cancel out from the top and bottom. So that will leave us with 1x in the numerator. Therefore, our final answer is 5x divided by x minus 8. So this concludes this video presentation on simplifying rational expressions. I'm believing that this video will help you a whole lot.